All right, welcome to Holistic Mojo. I'm Sahara Lee, coming to you from California, the Pacific Ocean. Today we're going to do a nice slow practice. We're going to do some hip openers, some shoulder openers, and some arm stuff. I'm on day 11 of a bodywork extravaganza. So this is going to be a go class for me, really. You just get to join along. So start off seated on your knees, close your eyes, rest your arms in your lap. And take a couple breaths in through your nose, long exhale through a soft, open mouth. Let your tongue relax, let your jaw hang. And with each inhale, let those shoulders rise up towards the ears. And as you exhale, let them drop down. You want to feel like as you inhale, you're pulling energy in through your nose into every cell of your body. And as you exhale, you're letting go of any stress, tension, anxiety, fatigue, anything you got going on that you just don't need to hang on to anymore. Whatever's not serving you, just imagine it leaving your body. We're going to keep this breathing pattern up, and you're just going to come up on your knees for a second and then tuck your toes in under you. Turn sideways so you can see it. You tuck your toes, spread them nice and wide, bring the ankles together, and then sit back. So same thing, the breath is going to become even more important here because this is going to become very uncomfortable. And I want you to focus on bringing your weight back onto your hips. So tendency as things get more uncomfortable is to scooch forward to make life a little easier. We want to sit right back on those heels. Squeeze the ankles in towards each other. And just keep breathing. Inhaling, allowing the shoulders to come up. Exhaling, dropping them down. And do 5 more breaths here. One last breath. Then you're going to come onto your hands. You're going to keep your hips on top of your knees, but walk your hands forward, dropping the chest and the forehead down towards the floor. And as you're breathing here, you want to think about using the side body and the side of your lungs. So breathing into your armpits and thinking of the inhale expanding you all the way around like a barrel and lengthening as you exhale from your fingertips to your hips. So there's a softening of the chest towards the floor and a lengthening of your waistline as you exhale. you're going to pick your chest up and just walk your hands back an inch or two so you're a little more supported, and slide your right arm and under your left, bring your right shoulder to the mat and your right ear to the mat. And then bend that right arm so your fingers come up towards the sky, and you'll be able to grab hold of the shoulder blade here, which should be sticking out sideways from the body. Call this the chicken wing. And you're going to stick your thumb under the chicken wing and your fingers across the top of the chicken wing, and you're just going to grab hold and massage. And this can work all the way down to the bottom of the shoulder blade. You'll feel that point of the shoulder blade, and that can be real tender. And you're going to work it all the way up towards the armpit, even up into the deltoid and the tricep. And just back and forth, opening up that side body. And release the right arm down. Bring the left hand in front of your face and unwind yourself. And then left shoulder to the mat, left ear to the mat, right arm forward, left hand bends or left elbow bends. Grab hold of the right shoulder blade and start to work the whole length from the shoulder blade up into the armpit, the deltoid, tricep. And then releasing the left arm down, right hand in front of your face, unwind yourself. Keep your big toes together and take your knees wide. And then you're going to sit your hips back into wide-kneed child's pose. Let the arms stretch out as long as they can, and the chest and forehead melt towards the floor. And we want to come back to that same breath that we had in puppy dog. So as you inhale, you want to get wider and rounder, like a barrel. And as you exhale, you want to feel your chest softening towards the floor and more length happening between your hips and your fingertips. And walking the hands up and back. You're going to turn your fingers towards the floor. So arms in front of you, fingers towards the floor. And then plant the palms. Let the hips come up if they need to. Tendency here is to really cave into your chest. So I want you to feel as if you're pulling your arm bones away from each other and opening your collarbones wider. And then if it's comfortable in your body, you can start to sit your butt back as far as you can go for the range of motion of your wrists. The chest is getting wider here as we hug those elbows back towards the belly and away from each other. And then shift your weight forward, and one at a time, undo the arms. Sit back, give it a shake. Good. I'm just going to rotate around to get the sun out of my face. So from here, I'm going to come back onto all fours. And then step yourself back into planks pose. And we're just going to warm up the core and the hips. So think about continuing to pull your arms away from each other, broadening across your chest. Belly gently draws up and back towards the spine. Tail is reaching towards the heels. Pubic bone is gently pulling up towards the rib cage. My ribs are nice and wide as I breathe. Let's just take a couple breaths here. And then drop the knees down. Press back for a couple breaths. Come back forwards. Engage the core, lift the knees. And then you're going to start by lifting the right foot, set it down, left foot, set it down. So just walking here, right and left, right and left. Just finding a rhythm for yourself. Try not to look forwards or back towards the feet. Look straight down between your thumbs. One more on each side. Then the knees come down. And again, we just press back for a couple breaths. And coming forward again, engaging the abdominals, lift the knees up. Now we're going to take that step a little bit bigger. So we're going to pick that right foot up and pull the knee up towards the right shoulder and back. Left foot up towards the left shoulder and back. And just marching. Two more on each side. Knees down, chest back. Move forward again, engage the core, lift the knees up. Now we're going to make an even bigger march. So you're going to pick the right foot up, step it to the outside of the right foot into a lunge, step it back. Left foot to the outside of the left hand, step it back. Just marching. Sink those hips down in between. So it's like your foot steps and you sink, step back. Foot steps forward, sink, step back. Forward, sink, step back. Forward, sink, step back. Next time that right foot comes forward, you're going to leave it there. Turn the foot out 45 degrees and then sink that left knee down. Release the top of the left foot to the floor. Sink your weight over towards the left hand and press the right knee out. You can start to rotate the chest towards the knee or even up towards the sky. I would suggest letting the left ear drop towards the left shoulder to get a little added stretch through the neck, but not necessary. Releasing the right hand back down. You can keep the toes out or turn them slightly forward. A couple other options. You can tuck the toes and lift the knee back up on the left side, or leave it down. And you can stay up on your hands or come down onto your forearms. The knee is down, you're gonna lift it up, and if the hands are down, you're gonna come up. So you're back in that high, wide lunge. And then we're gonna take our marching again. So step the right foot back, left foot forward, sink the hips. Left foot back, right forward, sink, right back. Left forward, sink, left back. Keep going. Good. And then left foot forward, turn it out. Sink the right knee down, release that right foot. Move over into the right hand, left elbow onto the left knee. Start to rotate the chest towards the left, maybe even all the way up towards the sky. And then right ear drops down towards the right shoulder, opening up through that whole left side of the neck. Coming back center. Again, you can leave the left toes turned out or turn them more forwards. Leave the right knee down or pop that knee up. And you can stay up on the hands or come down onto the forearms. Reconnect to your breath if you've lost it at all. And coming up onto the hands if you're not already there. Lifting the knee up if you're not already there. Step that left foot back. Bring the knees down and let's shift the hips back on top of the knees. Come into puppy dog once again. So the breath is as you inhale, you're going to expand like a barrel, nice and wide and round. And as you exhale, let the hips draw back slightly, lengthening from your fingertips to your hips. Coming up, bring the hands under the shoulders, tuck your toes, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Lengthen the shoulders away from your ears. Spread your fingers and your toes. Take your dog for a walk, so just bend one knee and then the other, nice and slow. And then you're going to inhale, sweep the right leg up Exhale, step the foot all the way through. Rest here for a second in your high lunge. Think about sending your left heel back and your left hip forward. And then think about sending your right knee forward and your right hip back. So there's an expansiveness happening front to back, as well as a tightening happening back to front. And then draw your abdominals, your low abdominals in towards your sacrum and roll your spine up. If you need to, bend that left knee a little bit to get your butt under you a little bit more. Shoulders are soft. Bring the hands around behind your back. So you grab onto opposite elbows, you can come into reverse prayer, whatever you have available to you, but I want you to really focus on maintaining a nice long low back. So a lot of times we take our hands back and then we arch. I want you to think tailbone down, pubic bone up, core strong, and I'm just opening my chest. Beautiful. You're going to take your arms straight out to the sides, shoulder height, and then rotate yourself to the right. So my left arm's forward, my right arm's back. And again, I want to make sure my head is on top of my heart, is on top of my pelvis. So I'm not tipping in some weird configuration. And then just take a quick glance down at that right knee. Notice if it's rolled in, pull it out. So it's in line with your toes and your hip. And windmill the hands down. Step the right foot back, downward facing dog. And take a second to just move around in your down dog. Explore your body. What's going on? Where are you tight? Where are you loose? Where are you hanging on to some bullshit? What do you need to let go of? All that jazz. And then inhale the left leg up. Step it through. Take a moment here in your high lunge to push the right heel back and the right hip forward. So we're lengthening that leg. And then to press the left knee forward and the left hip back. So we're scissoring our pelvis, our inner thighs towards each other as we lengthen our knees away from each other. Draw the lower abdominals into the lower back and roll on up. Take the arms around behind your back in any way that feels appropriate to you, but again, tail down, pubic bone up. So the chest opens without arching the spine at all. The arms come out shoulder height, and then twist to the left. Trying to line everything up. So head on top of heart, on top of hips. Take a glance down at your left knee and just notice if it's shifted outside or inside of that foot. And then windmill down. Left foot back. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Let yourself hang in a forward fold. If you've got tight low back and hamstrings, you can always bend the knees and really ragdoll. Let the head hang. Maybe let the arms hang. And if you do have a tight low back and hamstrings and your knees are bent, I want you to bring your torso up enough that you can straighten out your legs for this next part, okay? So make sure that your legs are long and your upper body might not be all the way down. It might be kind of hanging out here. Right leg is going to stay straight. Left knee is going to bend. So again, if you're tight, you might be up here, and that's fine. Just notice that your weight's probably back in your heels, and I want you to send it as far forward as you can without falling over. Left elbow comes into the left knee or inner thigh, and right arm reaches up towards the sky. Taking a twist. Let the head hang towards the floor. So we open up the neck at the same time. And then releasing the arms down, lengthen the left leg out, and bend the right knee. Right elbow to the inside of the right knee or thigh. Left arm opens up towards the sky. Chest rotates, head hangs. Coming back down. Straighten out that right leg, bend the left knee again. This time, if your hands come to the floor, you're going to plant the right hand and peel the left arm open. So you're twisting in towards that knee. If the hands don't come to the floor, you're going to take that right hand just below your right knee and twist open from there. Let the head hang in both options. And come on back down. Lengthen out the left knee, bend the right knee. Left hand is either going to come right in front of you under the chest or just under the knee. And then peel the right arm open. Let the head hang. Bring the right arm down. Lengthen out both legs. Walk it back forward into downward facing dog. Then go ahead and bring your knees to the floor. Sit on up. We're going to come around onto our backs. So we're essentially going to do the same two poses in two different ways. One's on our backs and one's seated. So go ahead and cross your right ankle at your left knee. And then draw your legs up towards your belly, bringing the hands either to the back of the left thigh or to the front of the left shin. And if neither of those are an option, you can go ahead and grab a towel or a shirt or whatever you've got and bring it around behind that thigh, that left thigh, and pull it in towards you. If you have any knee issues, you want to make sure that you're flexing your right foot. That's going to protect your right knee. And then you might have that right big toe handy, and you can kind of use your peace fingers to grab the inside of that toe and wrap around. If not, you can grab hold of the right ankle, hang onto that foot and bring the left foot back down. And then extend that right leg either out into happy baby or all the way out to the side as much as it'll go into a modified side open leg thingy. Good. Bend that right knee, come back into that same position you just were. Bring the left knee back up to meet the ankle. And then you're just going to cross that right foot further over so that my right knee is now directly in front of my left knee. This is the I gotta pee pose. Pull your knees towards your chest and sink your sitting bones and your pubic bone down towards the floor away from your knees. Now, if this feels really light in a stretch, you have the option of taking the hands down the legs and then pulling your shins away from each other. So you're kind of tying yourself in a bigger knot. But one thing you want to be sure of is that your knees are staying pulled down to your chest, that they're not floating away from you, that they're staying tight down to the chest and the belly. And then go ahead and release, unwind. Right foot comes to the floor, left ankle comes across the right knee. From here, you're gonna pull that up into the chest, either use a strap, towel, whatever you got, your hands behind the thigh, or your hands in front of the shin. Flex that left foot if you need to for extra support. And then as you're pulling the legs towards you, you're lengthening the pubic bone and the tailbone down towards the floor. And you've got access to that left foot, so you're going to go ahead and grab hold of the big toe with your peace fingers or grab hold of the ankle. Let the right foot float back to the floor, and then take that left foot into half happy baby or all the way out. Come on back in. Bring the right knee back up to meet that left ankle. And then keep sliding that left leg across so that the knees line up with each other. And then again, you start to pull the knees down towards the belly and chest while lengthening the tail down towards the floor and the pubic bone away from you. And then if you need a deeper stretch, you always have the option of keeping the knees into the chest and belly while taking hold down the shins and pulling down and out with the feet. Releasing, unwinding the legs. Bring the balls of the feet together. Either grab hold of your shins, your ankles, or the outsides of your feet and pull the arches of your feet down towards your abdomen. As you do this, lengthen the tail towards the mat and the pubic bone away from you. Broaden across your collarbones, so don't let that chest cave in. Keep yourself nice and wide across the chest. And then open up into happy baby. So just pulling the feet apart, stacking your heels on top of your knees, flexing your feet, and then pulling those knees down towards the floor as if you're trying to plant them just outside of your rib cage. And as you do this, chest stays open, tail melts towards the mat, pubic bone lengthens away. I love that cue of melts. Because let's be honest, nobody's tailbone is melting right now. We're all struggling. It's just one of those words that yoga teachers like to use to make you feel better, or I don't know, make it seem less intense. It's a great word. Just gonna melt into this pretzel shape, breathing deeply as if this is your Zen location. All right, and then imagine you're not spring-loaded here, and try to gently release those feet and bring them down to the floor. We're going to take a twist. So I want you to push into your feet, pick your hips up, and scooch them over to the right so that it feels like your left hip bone is in line with your chest, the center of your chest. And that left leg is going to lengthen down, and the right foot comes on top of the left knee. And we're just going to take the low body and twist it over to the left. If you have a tight chest, I would suggest also turning your face to the left, and that's going to open up your right chest and shoulder. Take a full breath in, and as you exhale, engage your core and come on back center. Bend both knees, feet to the floor. You're going to pick your hips up and swing them over to the left so that your right hip bone comes in line with the center of your chest. Bring that right leg down and then twist over to the right. And again, if you've got a tight chest, turn the face to the right so that you open up that left shoulder and chest. Nice big breath in. Exhale, engage the core. Come on back center. Plant both feet. Get yourself back in the center of your mat. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And then start to rock yourself forwards and backwards the whole length of your spine. Bring yourself all the way up to seated. And you're going to stay seated. And we're going to kind of do all of those poses again from a seated position. So we're going to start off with double pigeon. So right foot is going to flex. Then you're going to set your leg down in front of you so that your right knee is with your right shoulder and your right heel is with your left shoulder. And then you're going to flex the other foot, set it all the way on top of the knee. So don't pull it back towards your hip. We're not going to lotus here. We don't need to suffer that much. Go ahead and just bring it right on top of the knee. And your other knee may or may not drop down onto that ankle. That's not important. What's important is that you can melt into this special kind of hell that we have here. So plant those sitting bones down. Feel as if you're trying to push your pubic bone down towards the floor and get taller. And that might be a plenty. If you would like more, you can take your hands forward and start to fold forward into this pose. If you're having knee tenderness at all, go ahead and put a block or a blanket or whatever you got handy under those knees. Close your eyes and bring your awareness onto your breath. Notice if your jaw is clenching or if your tongue is pressing against the roof of your mouth. Try to relax everything. Shoulders relaxed. And then from here, we're just gonna kind of keep twisting right. So I'm gonna stay with my right leg exactly where it is, but my left leg is gonna slide past the right knee. And I might need to kind of scooch my butt to the right as I keep going. I'm trying to stack my knees on top of each other, just like they were when I was on my back. Tendency is for that left butt cheek to lift up. So if that happens, go ahead and prop yourself up. You can roll up the back of your mat and sit on it, or grab a blanket or a cat, sit on it. And you want to work on getting that left sitting bone down, and that is just work on melting it down. It's all the fun right there. And again, it might be enough just to sit here upright, melting that left hip down. Or if you would like more, again, hands in front of you, starting to drop the chest and the belly. So think about, instead of like curling into this, think about lengthening up and over it. The weight stays in the hips. Or you can just choose to sit nice and tall. And if you fold it forward, you're going to bring yourself upright. We're going to continue this twist to the right. So press both sitting bones down, reach up through the crown of your head. Keep twisting to the right. Look back as much as you can. Shoulders away from the ears. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, twist around the other way. So we turn to the left. And you can use that right hand on the left knee to rotate you around a little bit more. Good. And then release, grab hold of that left foot. You're going to swing it around. And then come into that half kind of happy baby position just by planting the foot just next to the left foot. So the knee points up. And then you just kind of take a second, because you might be here. Think about sinking that left sitting bone down again. And I like to hook my left knee and give myself a little pull and leverage to sit up taller. And think about dropping that left sitting bone down. It might not look like this at all. You literally might be here. And you're just thinking about moving the pelvis down to a more level position. So wherever you're at, working with that. And then extend the left leg all the way long. Take a second to flex that left foot and again, sit up tall, sitting bones down. As I reach through my heel, I'm pressing my thigh bone down into the mat to sit up even taller. And then if you want more, you can take a side bend Let the left ear drop. And you can rotate the chest down towards the thigh and lengthen over the leg for a forward fold. Rolling up from wherever you are, and we'll switch sides. So now the left leg comes down into the first part of a double pigeon. So my left knee is in line with my left shoulder. My left foot is in line with my right shoulder. Both my feet are flexed here. Right heel comes on top of that left knee. So again, not back towards the pelvis, right up on that left knee. And then working on sitting up tall. Support wherever you need to. Your pose doesn't have to look like mine. And this side might be completely different from the other side. So you're working on sitting up tall. You're working on sending the pubic bone down. And then if you'd like, you can tip forwards. You really want to focus on the shoulders relaxing, all the muscles of the face relaxing. They always want to help. No need for it. We're going to keep twisting to the left here. So this right leg slides over. You need to rotate your pelvis, working to get those knees on top of each other and in alignment with the center of your chest. And then prop yourself up if you need to. We're working to get that right hip down to the same level as the left hip. So which means you might have to bring the left hip up to meet it. Again, different sides, completely different experiences. So be with that. Shoulders relax. We're working on sitting up. Pubic bone is reaching down. And then maybe we take a tip forward. And see if you can sit up even taller. We're going to keep rotating to the left, opening up into a twist. Looking over that left shoulder, sitting up as tall as you can. And keep your right sitting bone down. A really big inhale. And as you exhale, twisting in opposition all the way over to the right. Right sitting bone down, right shoulder opening. Get taller as you twist. And release. back center. Grab hold of that right foot and ankle. Drag it across. Place the foot just outside of the left foot. And then we work on sitting that right sitting bone down while leaving that left knee down. So pull your rib cage up towards the right thigh, dropping the right hip down. And again, you might be way out here, and that's fine. Just working wherever you are. And then we lengthen the right leg out. Again, I reach through my heel, and as I do that, I push the right thigh down to give me some leverage to sit up even taller. And we can stay right here, working on getting on top of those sitting bones, getting that right thigh bone pressed towards the floor. Melting. Maybe take that side bend, letting the right ear drop. And or rotating and taking the forward fold over the leg. Rolling yourself up. And coming around onto your back or Shavasana. So lay yourself down, wiggle, get all your shimmy shakes, itches, scratches, all those things out. Once you get down, I suggest giving yourself a really good just wiggle through the hips and shoulders. Shake those joints a bit. And settling down. A couple deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. And deepening your breath. Think about sending it through every cell of your body, just waking up the whole body with the breath, with your chi. And slowly moving, making your way onto your side. And then bringing yourself up. Finding a comfortable place to sit, comfortable way to sit. Closing your eyes, bringing your awareness back onto your breath. And we'll finish with a really nice centering practice. It's a great way to not only bring yourself back to your own center, but to connect you into the earth, to ground you into the present moment. So I want you to imagine that you've got a sphere of energy in your belly. So it's kind of being held between the pelvis and the rib cage. It's a nice bright ball of light. And you're going to imagine a cord, a rope, coming down from that ball of energy, that ball of light, all the way down through the floor, into the earth, and then through all the layers of earth, down into that molten core of the earth, which is also a glowing sphere. It's a great practice if you've been traveling a lot and you're kind of discombobulated as to where you are. It connects you into the earth where you are, connects you to the present moment. So if you're feeling like you're lost in a spiral of someone else's energy or of your own child energy, it's a great way to reconnect you to present moment. And it's a great way to connect you to your power. And just imagine that cord being nice and tight, pulling you down onto the earth. And it's kind of like a bungee cord. So if you wanted to, you could stand up and jump, and you'd be kind of that elasticity. You'd go up and then you come right back down, and you'd be firmly planted on the earth. Bring your hands together, your heart center. Taking a second to just extend gratitude towards your body and the amazing vehicle that it is. That even when it is challenging you and in pain or suffering of any sort, that it is still one of the most miraculous things on the planet. Think of sending that gratitude, thank you, thank you, thank you, I love you, I love you, I love you, into every cell. And thank you guys so much for showing up and being here with me today. Hope you have a glorious week, and I will see you next week. Namaste.